Gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we are going to look at this beautiful tank right here. It has just got the PBR, so it looks even more better than it already did. It really does look like a royal now. So, of course, we are talking about the Chieftain Mark 6 with its royal camouflage. So, the royal camouflage, it's amazing. I mean, the tank is one of the most sexiest tanks in the entire game. And of course, Wargaming doing these PBR on these tanks, they do honestly make the tanks look fantastic with and without the camouflage. So you remove the camouflage from the tank and it still like really does look beastly. On top of that, not just when you're looking at it like this, but when you're in game, if you've got snow on you or dirt on you, it makes it look even better than it already does. So is the tank worth getting? I mean, it is a brilliant tank. When it comes for sale, it does usually come for around 15 to 20,000 gold. It's one of the best. If you play it right, it really is one of the best tanks in tier 10, but you have to play it right. There's only really one massive negative thing about the tank, and that's the hatch on top, because other than that hatch on top of the turret is fantastic. I mean, not many tanks will penetrate you on your turret, and so you've got 350 millimeters of turret armor, 127 on your hull. So you're not going to bounce too much on your hull, but on your turret, as long as they don't look at your hatch, then you're going to bounce almost everything that comes your way. But you've got to try and hide the hatch, you know, get on a ridge, lift the gun up in the air, just hide that hatch as much as you can, and you will get bounces. So the DPM is 2945. I am actually running this with calibrated shells, because you got to run it with calibrated shells. That's an 8.15 seconds reload. Your penetration is 273, 326 on your APCR or your premium APCR, and your HE is 121. It does have the higher pen. It's not quite the Hesh. I think this tank with Hesh would be completely broken. Like, imagine this tank with the FV4202 Hesh. It would be a crazy tank, but I think Wargaming could actually make it so it does have that Hesh. Yes, you might have to nerf it in other areas, but yeah, I do think that this tank should actually have Hesh. So you've got a 400 alpha gun on your normal APCR, 360 on your APCR premium, and 515 on your HE. Aim time, very, very good at 2.8. So is the gun dispersion at 0.308. It has 10 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 42 kilometers per hour. So we're just going to have a couple of games that we had. Nothing too special. I mean, especially the second one. I was watching it as well. I was playing it, and you know, I don't deserve the outcome, I don't think. But yeah, I just think it's brilliant. And unfortunately for me with this tank, it is a tank that I've always loved. But when they introduced the Super Conqueror, I did start to sort of fall in love with that a lot more than this, only because it doesn't have the hatch that this tank has got. I mean, you can see the hatch there. It is very, very easily penable. Anything can penetrate that hatch on top. It's not a massive hatch. I mean, it's not like really high, but it is very, very easily penable. So if you are on a ridge and you are sort of just stayed still, like not moving, then people will be able to penetrate it. So I'm pushing forward here. I mean, it probably is a mistake going up against the WZ113. That's one of the best DPM heavy tanks. But to be fair, I thought I did kind of have the protection from my tanks, but yeah, it doesn't seem I've got that. So I'm committed now. I have to attack him. I do have more hit points than him, and to be fair, my DPM isn't that bad, and especially when I can get some bounces. I know I bounced on him once or twice, well, once, and I'm going to actually bounce a few more times. But yeah, you shoot the turret, and look what happens. they're not going to penetrate. People will aim for that hatch, so you do have to try and hide that hatch as much as possible. And then, only then, you will be a success. So again, watch out for the Death Stars. Big tanks like this, that is going to aim for your hatch, because again, they will be able to hesh your hatch as well. So do bear that in mind. So we did manage to clear the WZ-113. We still remain sort of half of our hit points, and of course there is a VK-72. So I'm going to wait for him. I should, to be honest, at this point, maybe back up. And I did track him, which I wanted to. I was expecting to do a little bit of damage at least, but at least I did block a shot from him as well. So even at this point, I am backing up. I'm not in the greatest of position, because he's still going to be able to get shots on me very, very easily. I could, however, maybe push him and face hug him and then move my turret to make it a little bit more difficult for him to be able to penetrate me. But, you know, it's a 6 versus 3 at this point. I've done almost 4k damage with that shot. A 500 alpha, I did manage to get just over 4k damage, and we are going to get the win. So, yeah, it wasn't the greatest of positions for me to be in. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of support from my team, but, you know, I didn't get it, but they were off doing their own thing, so I'm not going to complain at all about their work. They did do a brilliant job. So next up, Yukon. So this game, I don't even know how I got the damage I got. So the tank itself, like, yeah, it's a very, very quick tank. I mean, just look how beautiful the tank is. Like, it is such a sexy tank. One of the most sexiest tanks, if not the sexiest tank. Even with the camo, it just suits it. It looks brilliant. Of course, yes, I am British, so I'm going to love it a little bit more as well. But anyone should like the look of, at least the look of the tank. If you don't like to play the tank, you should at least like the look of the tank, because it looks so goddamn beautiful. Just the look of it is worth the 15,000 gold itself, to be fair. So we're going to push forward. This tank doesn't do so well when you do have to push on the flat ground. Of course, because of that turret armor, yeah, it is a kind of a hold down tank. You have to get in a hold down as long as you can hide that hatch. But if you can't get into if it's a flat a map like Himmelsdorf or as such, then maybe it might be worth sort of going with your mediums, because it is a quick tank for what it is. You know, it is a heavy tank, but it is an extremely quick tank as well for a heavy. So yeah, if you want to fight with your mediums to support them, you have decent enough DPM to do so. You have decent enough armor to deal with them as well, to at least get some blocked shots. So yeah, when you fight it kind of like in this kind of position, it isn't the greatest. Of course, if there is a dead tank like the tank in front of me, then yeah, of course I would recommend using that to protect your hull as much as you possibly can, which is what we're going to do. We're going to push forward, but look, even then he's going to aim for my hatch, and that is what people do. If you do go in that hold down position, they will aim for that hatch. So as I've said, you need to try and to hide that hatch as much as possible. And you could do that in many ways, you know, get on a ridge, look up, or just sort of wiggle your turret around and round and round, just to make it difficult for them. So far this game, I've only got 1900 damage. That was a bad block there against the Object 268, but I do get the shot back. And then we are sort of in the middle now. We've got tanks all around. I could go forward, but I can see that guy just staring at me. So yeah, I don't really, at this point in the game, want to lose any hit points just coming out to take the shot. But yeah, as you can see, I still kind of lost a little bit of hit points. That was my own fault, and that was a silly mistake there. So there is the FE, so I'm going to get the shot there. He's not looking at me, so we are on 3.4k damage. To be fair, we haven't done a lot. We are going to take care of that guy, so it is now just a 6 versus 3. He's a one shot. He's going to die very soon to me. That is 2 kills with 2 tanks left alive. So there's the Death Star all on his own. I'm going to back up. I do manage to get the final shot into him before he backs up. So at least that pushes me above that 4k mark. So we only bounced 700 damage, so we didn't bounce an awful lot. and even if we didn't bounce that, we would have still survived. But yeah, overall, it was a decent game. I played very, very aggressive, but this isn't the tank to play so aggressive in, unless you are behind your team, so they take the shots and you just sort of rack up your damage using that DPM. But yeah, it's not an extremely great at front lining. It's really good at going with your mediums or on a ridge, and that's how you should play it. But overall, I don't know how I got the damage quite easily, but I don't know how I got so much XP. I mean, 1600 XP, and of course I did get the mastery badge with that as well. But to be honest, even that game, I've done nothing. I don't deserve that mastery badge, or I don't deserve the XP. Yes, I did get 1200 assistant damage as well. I damaged 6 tanks with a couple of kills, but I definitely don't deserve that mastery badge. But I'll take it. I will still take it. So let me know your thoughts on the Chieftain Mark 6 Royal. It looks absolutely beautiful. Now Wargaming gave it that PBR. Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With